Hey friends, this is Dolwini TV. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. Officially, Corey Perry is a member of the Edmonton Oilers, and my oh my, how times have changed in our franchise history. Once more, Edmonton is a destination to go to as a free agent, and that is a good feeling for a team that is on the cusp of doing greatness once more for the possibly the sixth time in franchise history. We'll break that all down here in a matter of moments, friends. But if you are new to the channel, we're closing in less than 360 subscribers to go till that big ol' yes sirree 15,000. Then I can quiet off on the subscriber train for quite a while here until playoffs. So friends, the Edmonton Oilers, Corey Perry, it's a big time signing despite being only 77 or 775K plus 300 odd thousand in signing bonuses that carry over into next year, Connor Brown and the like. I don't care, because it is clear, still as true as it was at the start of the year when we signed Connor Brown on July 1st, to it is now here on, of course, what is it, January 22nd, 2024, halfway through the year, the hockey season. The Oilers are still fully in this to win this. The cup or bust thing never really went away. It just quite honestly looked like we were going to bust, and then the Oilers turn it up and obviously go on an 8 and a 13 game win streak so far and find their way to get back in the race. So what I look at from this Corey Perry signing is there's been a lot of talk today, and I think the biggest interesting part is, will Corey Perry be the same Corey Perry he has been all his career now that he lands in Edmonton and obviously gets his quote-unquote second chance to do something this season? Well, we'll see. But my biggest thing here is, of course, kind of breaking that apart and looking at, he ended up here, right? Corey Perry actually chose to come to Edmonton. There were other offers on the table, whether it be from the LA Kings, as Frank Saravelli mentioned on Oilers Now here on my drive home, basically mentioned the LA Kings, the New York Rangers, the second runner, or the runners-up, I guess you could say, the second-tier team on his list was Florida. There was potential that there was a team like Vegas in the mix. There was everybody all around it here for the Edmonton Oilers and the Corey Perry sweepstakes, and Corey Perry chose Edmonton. I don't care what you want to say about the contract carrying over to next year. We can always figure that out, because if you have a down year next year after winning the Stanley Cup, a lot of us won't really care much, because a summer in Edmonton, a summer in Alberta, after a team in Canada, specifically the Edmonton Oilers, wins the Stanley Cup, my oh my, that would be a good summer to have. So that said, basically the times they be a change, and this isn't true anymore that players don't want to come to Edmonton, right? Corey Perry actively among teams like Florida, right? He had a chance to go to Florida. That's insanity, and he chose Edmonton, if you're asking me honestly, right? You look at the math there. Corey Perry chose Edmonton in January after minus 40, 50, 60 almost over Florida. What's the man thinking? Well, like I said, the Edmonton Oilers, for the first time over the past 3 years, I guess this year, the year prior, and the year before that, have become a destination to win a Stanley Cup, right? If you're talking about a team that hasn't done it over the past 3 years and you're looking to be part of that reason why they do this year, Edmonton is the destination. And I will be interested to see how much this Corey Perry signing leans towards possibly, of course, guys, kind of coming here as a choice during the trade deadline. I don't know what the prospects are of getting another forward. Obviously, I think a defenseman and I think as well a goaltender are the Oilers' priorities here. And now after getting Corey Perry, right, you've secured another bottom six piece. So that's another asset you don't have to give assets up for, right? No cost to us in terms of picks or prospects. And no roster bodies had to be moved other than Adam Ernie, who we'll see if he's claimed on waivers tomorrow. For the Oilers, you've upgraded the bottom six twice over, right? You've got Dylan Holloway in there now, and you've got of course Corey Perry in there as well over Adam Ernie in the past 48, 72 hours. That's a pretty important upgrade over those two players that didn't cost you anything in terms of assets leaving the organization. So end of the day, now all of a sudden, you probably still need one more big forward. And I mean, the only way that happens is at the cost of a Warren Fogle or a Ryan McLeod leaving the organization. So I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with doing that. I guess truly you could ship off Matthias Janmark in a deal that nets you a Nick Bjugstad. I guess that possibly works for the Edmonton Oilers. But you're looking at this here, you're still giving up picks and prospects to make that happen, to acquire Nick Bjugstad again. So when I'm looking at this here for the Oilers, it's defense and goaltending. Any goaltending move obviously costs picks, assets, whatever, because you're moving Jack Campbell in said move, and you're probably getting Elvis Merzlikins back. So that's that move. And on defense, there's possibly the chance of moving either Ceci or Kulak and some other stuff for an upgrade on the back end, because you're pretty bona fide with a tough guy like Vinny Desharnais on your bottom pair. Obviously, having Bouchard in his offense has been unreal. Darnell Nurse has stepped up since Paul Coffey hit the bench. You know that Matthias Ekholm is Matthias Ekholm. And obviously, you have those core four players, and Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak are a pretty good peripheral supporting cast on two pivotal lines for the Oilers. The top pair, the shutdown pair, whatever you want to say, and a very key third pair that's been positive for the Oilers all season. So we'll see what happens here for the Oilers. But again, when we talk about all that, it's an actual destination we're talking about, a destination to win a Stanley Cup, that being Edmonton. And I mean, it's been a lot of years we've had it as Oilers fans shoved down our throat that we are not a place players want to come. And a guy who was highly sought after by some pretty good teams out there in the NHL, that being Corey Perry. I mean, Frank Cervelli mentioning that Vegas might have been the mystery team in the sweepstakes, right? You talk about all these teams out there. Florida went to the Cup final last year. Vegas went to the Cup final last year. If they are indeed the mystery team, I think the LA Kings are looking for anything they can find to beat the Oilers. The Toronto Maple Leafs were in the mix, right? They're looking for that punch into the second round for the second year in a row. The New York Rangers are just desperately trying to find whatever it's going to take to end up in the Cup finals and have a shot there again for the first time, I think, since 2014. So it's kind of that situation for the Oilers where you would love to see anybody choose Edmonton. And the fact that despite all those other clubs having interest, Corey Perry, a guy that you want on your team as opposed to playing against him in the playoffs, say Vegas or LA, yeah, you know what? I'm pretty impressed that the narrative is and will continue to change as this season evolves, I'm sure, around the Oilers and players choosing to come to Edmonton. Friends, let me know your thoughts today on the Edmonton Oilers, the Corey Perry signing. Everybody else has already broke it down. I thought I'd take a different angle. I hope you appreciate that as we set on to a quiet Monday night on what has been an incredibly busy 48 hours in the Edmonton Oilers hockey bubble. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolany TV. I am up on out of here.